Hello everyone. Welcome back to week 6 of yoga with Helen for the Down Syndrome Association. This is our last week before Christmas. I really enjoyed practicing yoga with you. I hope you've been having fun too. So as always, let's check in with all our safety things. Make sure you're wearing comfortable clothes. You may like to have a glass of water. Make sure you have your bare feet because they grip better, they won't slide. You might like to have your blankets, your pillows, and remember you might have a chair also. And if you have a mat, a yoga mat, make sure the chair is on the mat when you're using it so it doesn't slide. Okay. And of course, make sure you've got room. Okay. Let's start with our yoga poem. I am calm. I am peace. I am light. I am love. So today let's look at I am love and bring that into our practice. So remember in yoga I've mentioned the importance of kindness and how we can be kind to ourselves, kind to others, kind to the environment, kind to animals. So today, let's think of that as kindness to ourselves when we think of I am love, and we'll take that into our practice. So just enjoy your practice. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Be kind. Let's start with our breathing. Okay, so like last week, let's just place the hands on the legs. If you want, you can close your eyes. If you don't, keep them open. And let's just settle into our breath. So as always, think about that when we breathe in, we feel the chest gets a little bit bigger. The belly might get a little bigger. And as we breathe out, it's like they soften and relax. So take a few breaths and notice that. And as always, let's think about our nice tall yoga back. And as we breathe in, imagine it goes a little bit taller. And as we breathe out, we feel that we're really connected into the floor. Good. And if your eyes have been closed, blink them open and join us again. Okay, let's start with our stretches to begin to warm the body. So let's start with our head. We're going to look down and then look up. Look down and look up. Back to the middle. Now look over one way and the other way. Switch and switch again. Good. This time we're going to let one ear drop towards the shoulder and then the other way. Good. Let's take our shoulders. We did this last week where we take a breath in, let them drop. Let's do that one more time. Breathe the shoulders in and up and out. Good. Okay, let's take our side stretch. So stretch, follow my orange hand, so your right hand, and down. And the other hand, my pink hand, your left hand, and down. One more time. And down. Last way. Okay. Give yourself a little shake. Okay. This week, we're going to join the hands. We've done this before with the hands. We've had our hands like this. we're going to press them out, okay? Stay where you are. I'm going to move. You stay facing the video. Okay. So we've joined our hands. As I stretch the hands out, I'm going to make my spine round. So not the nice tall yoga back this time, but a round back. So I'm going to push my hands forward and my back back. So it's like a stretch either direction. Oh. Okay, now from here, I'm going to wriggle my shoulders. Okay, now I'm going to let my hands go. I'm going to let them come behind me, and I'm straightening my yoga back up again. Pressing my hands into the floor and lifting my chest to the ceiling. Taking a nice breath. Okay, now relax back. Come back. Bring the hands, interlock the fingers, push the hands forward and press the back. So make it round, wriggle the shoulders. Okay, let the hands come down, straighten up through the back, press the hands on the floor, bring the chest up towards the ceiling. Okay, good. I'm just going to turn around, back to face you. Well done. Give yourselves a shake. I think we've brought a little bit of heat into the body. Let's go into some of our asanas. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, as always, let's start with our table. You know this one really well now. So, check in with where our hands are and our knees. Make sure they're in the right place. Make sure we've got a nice long back. And let's take a breath. Okay. This week we're going to do what's called a hovering table. This one's really good for the core. So we're going to tuck our toes almost like we do in our downward dog. But all we're going to do is really a little small move, lift our knees off the mat just a little tiny bit, and we're going to hold there. 3, 2, 1, and bring the knees back down. Harder than it looks. It's a good one for the core and building up just that strength throughout the body. And again, building our strength in the arms. Let's do it again. Our hovering table. So we're on our table, tuck the toes. Now, just a few inches off the ground, we lift our knees and hold it there. So lift the knees and hold. Remember to breathe. And 3, 2, 1, bring the knees back down. Well done, well done. Okay, so let's go from there to our child's pose this week. So remember your choice of legs together or open. And last week we had our hands stretched forward. This week, let's place our hands behind. And remember, you could have the cushions under here. This is a good one for adding lots of cushions. So hands go backwards towards our feet. And just really let the arms relax, let the shoulders roll towards the floor. And remember to breathe. Good. Okay, let's go to our cobra from there. So we're going to just walk the knees back, bring ourselves lower to the mat. Remember, we place our hands on the mat and the inside of our forearms. Press the toes into the floor as well, and then lift the chest. And imagine that golden string that pulls us forward direction. And then release down. Good. Let's do our belly breath, where we have our forehead on our hands and we breathe in. Good. And let's come back up. Push ourselves up. Let's come back to our table and check in with our cat. Okay, so breathe in. And as we breathe out, arch the back up. Bring the belly button up to the spine. And then breathe in the other way. And then out. Good. Okay. Let's do our downward dog. So, come back to our table, press into the hands, make sure the hands are wide on the mat, tuck our toes and bring the hips up towards the ceiling. Bend, keep the knees bent and think about bringing the hips right up as high as you can to the ceiling. And then place the knees back down. Good. And like I said last week, if there's a move you like to repeat, just pause the video and do it as many times as you want and then join us again for more. Okay. Let's try our plank pose. So remember, we've got two versions starting from our table. You can either just bring the knees back a little bit further and get used to that feeling of weight in the arms. Or you can bring the feet back and the knees up. Okay. And think about the nice long line between the top of the head right down to the heels, and then bring the knees down. Good. Well done. So guys, because this is week number 6 and we've been practicing for a number of weeks now and everybody's doing a fantastic job, we're going to try something a little bit different with all of those poses that you already know. So sometimes in yoga we practice them, just the poses, and sometimes we can begin to join the poses up into what is called a flow. It flows from move to move. So we're going to pick just a few of those poses because you know them so well, and we'll put them into a flow. But watch me first and then we'll do it together. Okay, so just watch. The first pose we start with will be our table, and then we'll flow that into our cat. Okay, we'll do that 2 stretches, and then we'll flow that into our downward dog. So straight after cat, we'll tuck our toes and we'll push ourselves up to downward dog. And then straight from there, we'll bring our knees down and stretch our hands out into our child's pose or our devotional pose. And then we'll come back up to table and we would be ready to do it again. Let's give it a go. So do it with me. I'll call it all out and it'll still be a slow flow. Okay, so start with our table. Okay, take a breath there. Take another breath in. And as we breathe out, this is when we arch up into the cat. Then arch through. We're going to do that one more time. Arch up. Arch down, then come back to the middle, tuck the toes, bring the hips to the ceiling for our downward dog, and then place the knees back down, stretch the hands out into our next pose, And then come back to our table. And we could go again. So take a breath in and out. One more in. And as we breathe out, arch the back. And then the other way. Arch up. Other way. Come back to a flat back. Tuck the toes. Hips up to our downward dog. Then place the knees down. Walk the hands forward. And then come all the way back up. So you could do it again. So well done, guys. That was like a little mini flow yoga. So there's no right or wrong way to practice yoga. You may like to do one pose at a time and just look at that pose and make it really comfortable with your pillows and blankets and stay in it as long as you want. Or you might like the idea of moving between some poses. There's no wrong, there's no right. It's just different ways to practice yoga and move between poses. So it was just to give it a go. Well done. So guys, let's bring ourselves up to standing. So again, if you're using your chair, make sure you work your way up through the chair. We're going to tuck our toes, bring the hips up towards the ceiling, walk the feet in, hang over and keep the knees bent. Roll up through the back or come up through your chair. Let's begin our standing postures. Let's do our mountain. So feet under the hips, tall yoga back, tall yoga body. Roll the shoulders round, open up the chest, palms of the hand face me, and breathe there. Just breathe normally. Good. Really sense how strong your body is. And relax. Good. Let's do some of our stretches. So let's roll the shoulders round. Good. Let's sweep the arms up. Stretch, 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 stretch. So this is a bit like mountain with our arms up. So really strong in the body. Now join the hands together so they're like this. And then let's sway from side to side. So one way, then the other way. And just sway for yourself. Good, and relax. Shake out the arms. Give yourself a little shake. Let's go to our chair pose. So remember, legs not too wide, not together. They're just under the hips. Take a breath in, and we imagine we sit on our chair, and you decide where your arms go. Good. And relax. It's a good one for the legs. Let's do that again. So breathe in and find your chair pose. Maybe this time you try a different position with the arms. And relax. Good. So last week we looked at our rolling down with the bent knees and shaking the head and nodding the head. Let's do that again. So I'm going to face this way. You can keep facing me, just so you can see my back. So I bend the knees, let the head begin to roll down, so it rolls through the upper back, into the middle back, and then to the bottom part of my back. I let my arms be nice and heavy. Now that I'm here, I'm going to nod the head like I'm saying yes. Shake it like I'm saying no. and then roll back up through the body. Okay, we're going to add one more bit to this week. So just watch first and then we'll do it together. So just watch. We'll roll down, bent knees. So everything, the legs are bent, the back is curved, and then we're going to straighten everything up. So we straighten the legs and straighten the body. So we imagine the head goes towards this way. Then we let it all bend and curve again, so it all bends and curves back in, and then we roll up. Let's try that together. So you know the first part, so don't worry about the nodding and shaking of the head this time. So bend the knees, let the head lead us towards the floor. We come through the top part of the back, the middle part, and the low part. So our knees are still bent. Our arms are heavy towards the ground. Now place the hands on the shins and imagine that we straighten the body and straighten the legs. And then let it all fold and curve back round. And then roll up, knees are still bent, through the body. Good. Well done. So let's check in with our warrior 2. So take the legs wider. And each week we've been saying to check in with where the knee is over the ankle. If you find that every time you go down your knee is way over the ankle, then maybe you need to start your legs wider. Okay, so I'm going to go with my left side of the body, the pink side. I'm going to turn that toe to face my bookcase. Just tuck this foot in a little bit. I'm going to stretch my strong warrior arms up, bend into the knee, and I'm looking all the way down these fingertips. Okay, so find that nice strong pose, and then we'll add our warrior arms and breathing. Let's go. So breathe the shoulders up and let them push down. Feel a nice long neck. Let's do that one more time. Breathe the shoulders up. Press them down. Feel your neck get really long. Now, this hand, my pink hand, the hand I'm looking at is going to reach towards the ceiling. The other hand is going to just lie somewhere on my back leg. I'm looking up, and then I let the hands come back to the warrior position. And then I relax everything down. Turn the toes around, bend the knees, and walk everything back in. Give yourself a shake. Let's go the other way. So, legs are out. Now I turn the other toe, so now it's my orange side. Turn the toe. For me, it's towards the door. I bring this toe in a little bit. I bring the hips back towards you as best as I can. Stretch my arms up. Look over this finger. Bend the knee. I check in with the knee. Check if I need to make any adjustments. Find my pose and feel really strong. Don't forget to breathe. Good. Now, let's take our warrior breath. So breathe the shoulders up, press them down. One more time up and down. Now, I take this hand that's reaching out towards the door and I bring it up towards the ceiling. The other hand just rests on my back leg. And I look up towards the ceiling and then relax the hands back down. Bring the hands back together. Feet, toes turn round, bend in the knees. Shake out the body. Well done. Let's move on to our tree pose today. Okay, so you know which tree you're working on. So you know you can use the wall, you could use the chair, or you may not hold on to anything. So pick one side of the body, feel really strong, feel that that foot is pressed into the floor. Turn the other leg out. And again, it could be here, could be here, or it could be here. You pick, okay? Just remember not to place it on your ankles or your knee joints, because they're your joints, and we don't want to put any pressure on joints. Okay, so you pick where your tree will be today, and let's practice together. Good. And if you're not finished with tree yet, pause the video. Let's try the other side. So again, pick your tree. And pick wall, chair, or without the chair. And remember last week I talked about finding strength and stretch through the arms. Oh, my tree's wobbling today. Because if we don't use our arms, it's very hard to balance. So stretch the arms and they become like our branches. Good. So again, if you're still practicing your tree, pause the video and join us in a minute. So let's come back down to the mat. Let's bend the knees, curl the body, and slowly find the mat. Bring the knees down and find your way to the floor. So well done guys today on your standing poses. Now we're back on the mat. Let's try a new pose. Okay. So like our stick pose, we imagine we keep the back nice and long, nice and tall. This time we're going to open the legs. Okay, so if I come this direction, we're going to open the legs. Okay, and shift around, feel the sit bones. Okay, and again, think of a nice tall back. If you feel like your back is rounding, you can bring the legs a little bit closer and you can even bend the knees up. Okay, so we want to think of our nice tall back. Okay, and even just to sit with our nice tall back like this takes a lot of work from the body. So remember our I am love. So be kind to yourself. Don't get frustrated. Good. Now if you want, you could see if you could lift one hand up and the other hand up. And then relax. Well done. Give the legs a shake. And we could try that again. So bring the legs out. Shift around. Think of our nice tall back. Okay. Lift one hand up, the other hand up. Good. And let's see if we could point the toes towards the ceiling and relax. Good. Well done. Well done. So let's bring ourselves back to our bridge pose. We know this one well. So like last week, we might want to try the hands interlocked underneath, and this straightens the arms out, rolls the shoulders back, and just lifts the chest a little bit higher. but let's do it together. So bring yourself easy to the floor, knees up to the ceiling. So remember, we've got our feet placed on the mat, we've got our hands, palms of the hands on the mat, shoulders rolled round. Now, let's lift our hips, so we'll go all the way up. So lift the hips all the way up. And breathe there. Let's not do the hands yet. And then come all the way down. Good. So we're going to do that again. You can do it as we just did it, or we can add bringing the hands underneath. Okay. So press everything onto the floor, lift the hips, roll up through the back, hold it there. Either keep the hands pressed into the floor or join the hands together, wrap the fingers round, bring the elbows a little closer so it rolls the shoulders even further round on the mat, lifts the chest a little higher, and then let the hands unlock and roll ourselves back down. Good. Give yourself a little shimmy on the floor. Let's tuck the knees in. This time let's open wide. We've done this before in our star shape. Oh. So stretch the hands, stretch the toes, and then bring yourselves back in, tucked in. And then bring the feet back to the floor, knees up towards the ceiling. Now from here, we're going to do the move we learned last week when we drop the knees side to side, but I'm going to change my position so you can follow me easier. Stay where you are. I'm going to move this way. Okay, so arms come out a little bit further to the side, and then we let the knees drop one way. Trying to imagine that we could keep both shoulders on the floor, and don't worry if one comes up a little bit. Knees back up to the ceiling, then we let them fall the other way. And back up towards the ceiling. Let's do one more either side. And then the other way. And up. Good. I'm going to shift round again. You can stay where you are and just find a nice comfortable position for our relaxation. Okay, we've done this one before as well, where we imagine we tense up the body and then we let it go. So when I say tense up, we're clenching the fists, we're curling the toes, we're scrumpling up the face, holding everything in, and then when I say relax, let it go, you just let it all fall away. Okay, so that's the relaxation that we will do today. So before we do that, let's give the body a shimmy shake, get comfortable on the mat. And as always, you might be on your side, you don't have to be on your back. If it feels comfortable, you could close your eyes. And just take a big breath in, and then let me hear it as you breathe out. Let's do one more of those, a breath in. Let me hear it. Good. Now just let yourself breathe naturally. Now let's start our tensing up and relaxing. You'll hear me guide you. Okay. So tense everything up, tense, 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 breathe in. And then relax, let it all go, breathe out. Let's do that 2 more times. So tense everything up, breathe in, hold it all, scrunch the face, curl the toes, clench the fists. And breathe out. One last time. So tense everything up, curl the toes, clench the fingers, screw up the face, and breathe out. Good. So with that last breath out, hopefully the body felt a little bit heavier. So with every breath out now, as you just breathe naturally, imagine that the body sinks a little bit more into the floor, or it feels a little heavier, the muscles feel heavy. And just enjoy that feeling of lying on your nice soft surface. And feel yourself relax a little bit more every time you breathe out. So let's wake ourselves up with the breath. So breathe in. Let me hear it. Give the fingers a wiggle, the toes a wiggle. Maybe circle the wrists, circle the toes. Bring the knees up towards the ceiling, feet on the mat. Give yourself a little side to side shake, hug in. Relax the head back down. Roll onto your side if you have been lying on your back. Pause there and then push all the way up. Find yourself in a nice comfortable position. If your eyes have been closed, blink them open. Good. Let's take a few of our yawns. So we yawn in any direction. And then maybe a yawn in a different direction. A stretch. And all the way back down. Good. Give yourself a little shake out. A little roll of the head. Good. Let's breathe the arms up. Breathe in. And down. One more time. Breathe in. Down. Let's take the hands to the heart. And remember our yoga poem, I am love. So think of that idea of kindness, and let's take a kind, positive thought for yourself. So think of something really positive about you, something you're good at, something that makes you really special, something kind you've done today, anything you want. And just hold that thought there. Breathe it into your heart. And hold it with you the rest of the day or the rest of the week. And relax the arms. Good. Let's take our lion's breath. Push in, eyes wide. Good. Well done, guys. I hope you've enjoyed these 6 weeks of yoga. It's been great to practice with you. And remember, the videos are all there, so you can look back over any of the yoga sessions and do them again. And I will see you soon. Bye.